And we're going to have tie-down straps for 2 for each corner. A stack of sides, enough to go all the way around 40 by 40 and 1 extra. The stakes in the ground should be a total of looks like there'll be a total of 16 on the big stakes and 16 side poles, and then the 1 long center pole.
We square off a 50 by 50 area.
Okay.
And I didn't draw that to scale already.
That's okay.
So then you measure between here and you get the same measurement, then you know you're square.
Okay.
With perfect 90 degrees. Then then I go 5 foot in.
Okay.
Then I go 5 foot that way.
Uh-huh.
Then I go every 10.
Okay.
See how that works?
Okay, so we're 5 foot there, and that's 10 foot, right?
Right.
Okay.
And then that would be our...
So you'd be spaced out that way.
Exactly. Now this is the holes.
That's the holes that we're going in with our... Now when you're doing it at the fair, do you go ahead and pound your spikes in first on those marks prior to taking it out? Okay. All right.
That's exactly... Well, what I do is I usually just spray paint a little...
Oh, like an X or something. Okay.
Or usually I just use one of those marker paints.
Okay.
Just like that, but I didn't do that here. I used a piece of chalk because I didn't figure you wanted to paint on your thing. All right, so then you just go 5 there, and then basically if you... I'm just going to draw a few in here just to get the idea. Then your tent poles actually start right here. That lets be the poles that are holding the tent.
Right.
You see? So you got 5 there, 5 there. There's not a hole here.
Right, right. It's just
the
a
holes
reference.
are 5 foot here. That's your reference to square.
Okay. That's cool.
Okay. And then when you have that, then it's just 5, and then it's every 10 feet.
Okay.
And then 5 again on the end.
That works.
So then you've got your idea. So you actually have 20 holes that you dig. Or holes you dig, poles that you put in, not poles, stakes. You have 20 of those, but you only have 16 poles.
Right, that makes sense because you're doubled on the corners.
Exactly. All right, people get confused on that for some reason. But then the tent is seamed together down the middle, and I'll show you how to seam it, put it together, and you may or may not, since you have like a forklift, I would probably just roll that tent up all together and never take it apart.
Okay.
There wouldn't be a need when you've got the equipment to lift it.
It's too heavy otherwise.
Right. Yeah. In fact, we rolled it up here all together because I saw a forklift sitting there and there was a guy there. I said, "You mind loading it?" Not a bit. But of course, we rolled it onto the forks. You
didn't try and go under it.
Right, because you could tear it in. All right, so I could show you how to lace it together and put the tent together, but that's how I would leave the tent.
Cool. That makes it simple. That's kind of what I figured was happening after listening to you and you're diagramming it out. Now last time though, remember when you went on a different mark. I'm going to go ahead and make my notes here just to make certain. That's 5 foot, that's 10 foot, that's 5 foot, that's 10 foot. So
you could write 50 for total, yeah.
Oh yeah. Last time though, because we were thinking about maybe doing them in closer, and instead of going 10 foot apart, you were thinking you could do it at different dimensions.
Right.
There was
now
like an alternative.
Yeah. Well, the only difference would be the difference of how far out.
Okay.
So like, it seems like this side was shorter a little bit. I don't remember which
I know.
way.
Okay, so your spaces aren't changing. Just this overall dimension may go from 50 to 46, and then we're moving in 2 foot on each one instead of 5.
That's exactly right.
Super cool. Okay, that makes sense.
So and then you'll start here at 4 foot.
Right.
And then you'll go 10, 10, 10, 10. That's why I said it could change.
Right, that makes sense. Okay.
All right. So basically, it's going to be, your tent is 40 by 40. You can set it up on 4 foot or 5 foot's better though. A little more length.
Just give you more tension.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why at the fair we do 50.
Right.
Okay.
And so that was the only difference there. You want them about this angle. This angle is pretty good. More angle is not necessarily bad.
Okay.
All right, this is a real good angle, right where we are. But people will try to whack at these things. You know what I mean? The best way to hit that is when you hit it square like that.
Okay.
And it isn't a matter of like screaming with all your might. It's a matter of letting the weight of the Sorry. Those are going extremely easy because we just pulled them out of there. You see what I mean? But
Right.
it's a matter of letting that hammer do the work, or the weight of the head.
Okay.
You see what I mean? It didn't, because I've had guys try to help me, and all they do is beat the thing up, and it doesn't go
That makes sense. That makes sense.
in. Quite a little more. I would drive that.
Those are in too far then. I was doing those like we did at our house.
It doesn't hurt because they've already been in the hole before, so I think that's probably okay.
Okay.
So,
So 12, about 12 inches out.
12 inches is what I do with mine. And the corners, I just make sure that I've got a good solid corner, because that's where all the pull is.
Right.
Is your corners.
Why don't you take your camera and just, I'll put this down here, you can take a picture
That's
so
a
you
little
can
short.
see the
I would
angle.
go down a little more.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, get down right there so
Oh, I
that way we
see.
can see the angle, because I think the angle is probably one of the more important things, right?
It wouldn't hurt if that it was angled a shade more, but that's pretty close.
Okay.
To where I do it.
Okay.
Cool, very good.